stand not by the authority of the state, nor by the seal on your wedding certificate, by the strength of your love and by the power of your faith in each other and in Christ. Love is not arrogant, does not act unbecomingly, it does not seek its own, it is not provoked.
We all need love, and there's no love like God's love. I want to help people discover that. A few years ago, I found out that there are people who have never had that opportunity. So I went on a journey to find out who they are, where they live, and how to reach them.
We started Teen Challenge in India, where there are hundreds and hundreds of unreached people groups. The missionary that I was with there, when I left Calcutta, he told me, he said, now Howard, when you fly over India and you look down on all the villages of India, just remember there are 600,000 villages that have never had the gospel. And that trip changed my life forever.
We have access to the gospel everywhere we look, whether we want it or not. It's hard for us to imagine whole people groups, whole nations, millions, literally billions of people who don't have that access. Right now, there's almost 2 billion people on the planet who do not have access to the gospel.
You know, some people think we're living in a blueprint where everything's falling exactly according to plan. I see something that's filled with things that are just broken and not working right on the creation level, on the internal level, on the relationship level, on every level.
It seems like the human story is broken. It seems like it's not working. So where is God in all of that?
I decided to go to Nepal, a country with over 30 million people who have never even heard about Jesus. I wanted to find out what people believe when they don't have access to the message of Jesus. We are at the birthplace of Lord Buddha. It's called Lumbini. We're just talking to some Buddhist monks, finding out what's going on, finding about what they believe.
This is Buddhist flag. We call Panchasila. There are 5 colors. The people, they praying and they put the flag. They want peace and happiness.
We cannot see Buddha easy. The Dalai Lama is higher, he can see Buddha. You cannot see the president, but Congress and higher position, they can see the president easy. You cannot see your God.
Malla King established this temple, made this temple, in the name of Mata Mahakali. Mahakali is the goddess of death. She is a very fierce formation. She is very horrible to look at. Yeah, this is belief. She is very horrible, very fearful to look at. And the man who come here give animal sacrifice to that goddess. The blood is drunk by Mata Mahakali. And our ultimate purpose of devotion is mukti, salvation, emancipation.
I never asked the God make me the rich. I never asked the God to give me the power, then I can be to others. But I asked to the God, please make my soul empty. No more desire. After fulfilling the one desire, then another one desire will reborn and then again and again. The spiritually we cannot satisfy.
They were looking for God in the only place they knew, and it was clear to me that they hadn't found what they were looking for. Something that really captured me tonight was just asking, Jesus, where would you be in this situation? And so he'd be bringing a revelation of who God is and what God is really like. Jesus would bring them truth, he would speak truth to them and he would use every available tool and every available resource,
I've seen the Buddhists twirling their prayer wheels and going around big circles with prayer wheels, rituals trying to find peace. But Jesus said he is peace. And so until we have a relationship with him, we don't really understand peace. We don't really have peace.
They've seen, they've tasted, and everything they've tasted is like sand in their mouth, whether they're looking to the religion of hedonism and materialism or whether they're looking to the religion of Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity. I don't care what it is. Those religions don't bring life, and it's just about trying harder. And men intuitively know that it's not enough. In some cases, they are privileged with the opportunity to encounter Christ. And man, when they see him, it's like, oh my goodness, he is the one I've been looking for all my life.
From the small age, I was very much into religion. What is truth? What is God? What is hell and heaven? My mother died. I was taken to children's dormitory. It was run by Nepal government, and I was very much devoted Hindu boy. I always had a desire to personally meet God, experience God. I never could experience personally God. And my question was, how come God doesn't answer my prayer even though I'm sincerely worshiping him? So I also began to wonder whether this is real God or not. But when I went to church, I remember, and somebody was preaching about Jesus. And it really touched my heart. I was very much fascinated, captured. I knew in my heart, this is what I've been looking for.
So the wonder of Jesus was that God was so committed to revealing to that which he created who he is, what his character's like, how loving he is, how sacrificial he will be in his nature to redeem, that he decided, I'll put on flesh and I will walk amongst you so you see who I am, so that you don't have any problem trusting me. And we could see this is a sacrificial God. This is a God who is willing to go to great lengths to reclaim me.
You know, in some circles, that would sound very trite and trivial to say, oh, you just need to know Jesus. You need to follow Jesus. We can see down through the course of history that every other force that tries to bring change is external. Whether it's military, whether it's religion, it's an external pressure. And as soon as that goes away, things go right back to the way they were, because nothing has changed the human heart. And there's only one thing on the planet that can change the human heart, and that is the Jesus coming inside of a person and actually giving him the capacity to grow and be transformed from the inside out.
I heard a guy named Krishna could help me on my journey. Among other things, I heard he was working as a vet in remote communities.
म विश्वास प्रभु येशूमा विश्वास नगर्दा चाहिँ म एक्लो महसुस गर्थेँ अनि मेरो कोही पनि छैन यो संसारमा भनेर मैले सोच्थेँ अनि किनभने अब म बुवा आमाको माया पनि त्यति नपाएको मान्छे हो अनि गाह्रो थियो मेरो जीवनमा एक्लो महसुस हुन्थ्यो म कहिले कहिले मेरो मनमा यस्तो प्रश्न पनि उठ्थ्यो कि ओहो यो लिने मात्रै छ हामीलाई दिने परमेश्वर चाहिँ हुनु नै कसो जस्तो कहिले कहिले मेरो मनमा लाग्थ्यो अनि त्यसपछि अचानक मेरो श्रीमती बिरामी भइन् अनि बिरामी भएपछि चाहिँ चर्चमा लानुपर्छ राम्रो हुन्छ भन्ने कुराहरू भयो अनि त्यसपछि चर्चमा लगेपछि प्रार्थना गरेर मेरो श्रीमतीले चङ्गाइ पाइन् अनि त्यसद्वारा चाहिँ हामी विश्वास गऱ्यौँ एउटा कुरा त अब मुख्य मलाई परमेश्वरबाटै त्यो प्रेरणा भयो प्रकाश भयो यो ठाउँमा आउनुपर्छ भनेर अनि दोस्रो कुरा चाहिँ यहाँको मान्छेहरूले अब परमेश्वरलाई चिन्नुपर्छ हैन परमेश्वरलाई नपाएका मान्छेहरूले अनि यी दुखी मान्छेहरूले परमेश्वरलाई चिन्नुपर्छ भन्ने मैले परमेश्वरबाट यो प्रकाश पाएको कारणले म यहाँ आएँ
It takes days of walking through the mountains to get to the villages. There's always the danger of a mudslide, monsoon, or even highway robbery. Krishna tells me that in the past 6 years, He's walked here over 1,000 times.
म आउनुभन्दा पहिला चाहिँ यो ठाउँमा सागसब्जी त्यति रोप्दैन थियो अनि कसरी रोप्ने भनेर कुन समयमा रोप्ने भनेर पनि थाहा थिएन अब यहाँ भात र नुन मात्रै खाएर हुँदैन मान्छे स्वस्थकर बन्न सक्दैन यहाँ अब धेरै रोगहरू यो जुन मैले गरेको छु पशुमा काम गर्छु तरकारी खेतीको यो विषयमा सिकाउँछु रोप्छु यो सबैद्वारा चाहिँ म परमेश्वरलाई मानिसहरूलाई चाहिँ अनि परमेश्वरको विषयमा बताउन अनि म मानिसहरूलाई परमेश्वरको विषयमा त्यति बेला बताउनलाई म सजिलो पर्छ
He was just a normal guy trying to use the tools he had to reach these people. This was different than how I'd pictured missions.
Some people have the archaic, outdated idea that a missionary wears a pith helmet, big Bible in his arm, khaki shorts, goes in the jungle. We bring them in, we extract them from the culture, bring them into our mission station. That has to be dead and buried. We want them to stay in their culture, but be part of the kingdom culture.
So his kingdom is just basically his character being worked out into every fiber of life, every facet of society. We're talking about discipling individuals, and then those individuals, of course, are like yeast into dough, and they will transform the whole in a grassroots, bottom-up kind of way.
We need to change our mentality. Old way of definition of mission work is, I think, gone. We need to come up with a new idea, using whatever you have for the glory of God. That is the work of God. My passion is for media. I have a television program. It is not necessarily, so to say, spiritual program, but ethics is Christian. I'm looking at the big picture, impacting the society, influencing the society.
It's fun driving bikes. That's a part of. I guess that's part of the man in me coming out, just having a bike and be able to drive it every day. I love bikes. I love driving my bike. My name is Øyvind. I am 28 years old from Norway, and I am a businessman working in Nepal trying to establish a guest house. Tourists can come and stay, rest, do trekking, paragliding, horseback riding, and all kind of crazy adventures. The main building will have like 6 rooms, and I'm going to build 3 cottages like this. You can see when I'm building this, I try as much as possible to build it in a Nepali traditional architecture, for example. So I want it to look like a Nepali building that belongs in the village. We will give like 75% directly towards aid work, missionary work, and then 25% of the income will go towards investing in other income generation projects to make the vision grow.
अनि त्यो गाउँको मान्छेहरूले भन्नुभयो तपाईँ के गर्नुहुन्छ कसरी आउनुभयो के भन्ने कुराहरू म चाहिँ यसरी भेटनरी मान्छे पनि हो अनि म चाहिँ क्रिस्चियन पनि हो त्यसकारण म यो ठाउँमा तपाईहरुलाई कस्तो लाग्छ त्यो भन्नलाई आको भनेर चाहिँ मैले भने अनि त्यो समयमा उहाँहरुले भन्नुभयो अबदेखि तपाई यो गाउँमा नआउनुस् भनेर भन्नुभयो नआउनुस् भनेपछि अनि म फिर्केर म अब घर जान्छु म अलिकति.
Many people say you should stay and work for your own money, you should have a normal life. To start a business is not real mission work, that it's secular maybe. So I guess that's the biggest challenge is isolation, like being the only one that has your mindset.
If you are not a pastor, you are not a minister. That is the mentality, I would say, very bad, wrong mentality. People really started saying, oh, Sukhdev started with a spiritual thing, now he's turning into the physical part, because they think you need to only use it for the Christian group.
अनि अब घर जान्छु म अलिकति घरतिर गएर समय पनि बिताउँछु भनेर म जाँदै थिएँ अनि म जाँदा जाँदा एउटा रसोमा पुगेँ रसोमा पुगेपछि त्यो जुन मलाई यहाँ नाउ भन्ने व्यक्ति चाहिँ जानु हुँदै थियो घर अनि म पछि पछि आउनुभयो कुदेर अनि पक्नुहोस् भने हो मलाई त पिट्न आउनुभयो कि क्या हो जस्तो लाग्यो शङ्का लाग्यो मलाई अनि म रोकिएँ अनि किन आउनुभयो के भयो भनेर भन्दा होइन मेरो भैँसी चाहिँ एकदमै ब्याउन सकेन तपाईँ यहाँ आइदिनु भयो भने राम्रो हुन्छ मैले जुन गल्ती गरेँ नराम्रो कुराहरू भन्यौँ हामीले तपाईँलाई मन दुखायौँ अनि मन दुखायौँ त्यसकारण तपाईँ माफ गर्नुहोस् तपाईँ राम्रो व्यक्ति हुनुहुँदो रहेछ समाजसेवी व्यक्ति हुनुहुँदो रहेछ भनेर चाहिँ उहाँले भन्नुभयो त्यो समय चाहिँ सबभन्दा मेरो असल समय हो यहाँ अब धेरै रोगहरू यो कुनै अब एकदमै खतरा रोगहरू हुन्छ त्यसको चाहिँ भ्याक्सिन राख्नुपर्छ पहिले अनि यो जुका नाम्लेको औषधिहरू दिन्छु 6 महिनामा आयो भने म यो भ्याक्सिनहरू गरिदिन्छु अनि कति बच्चाहरू अड्किन्छ अनि त्यो पाडा बाछाहरू अड्किन्छ ब्याउन सक्दैन त्यति बेला त्यो झिक्ने काम गर्छु अनि बफुलो जब म यहाँ आएँ अनि मैले आफैले सुरुवात गरेँ पहिले केही बारी मागेर अनि त्यसपछि अरूले त्यो हेरे ओहो यसरी फल्ने रहेछ हाम्रो ठाउँमा भनेर मान्छेहरूले बुझे त्यो मकै सेतो छ सेतो कलरको खानालाई साह्रै मिठो छ हो मिठो छ त्यसपछि चाहिँ सुरुवात गर्यौँ हामीले त्यसरी तरकारी रोप्न सुरुवात
What's his name?
Divas.
He really loved these people. He cared about what they were going through as a community, and love opens doors.
When you are out there being yourself, people get inspired by your life. They are drawn to you. I enjoy working with this, and therefore I think people are inspired by it. You have to make a lot of sacrifices, definitely, but the reward of seeing people helped, you know, the reward of being there for people, I guess it's worth it. It's worth it in the end, just to see it in their eyes.
So I feel very happy that I'm being able to impact, influence the intellectual people group in this area.
So I'm excited, even though it's a little bit pressure, but I'm ready. Mentally I'm ready, physically ready. As long as I have my water and my notebook, I'm ready to talk.
I get excited when I have lots of SMS, the feedbacks, phone calls. I'm happy. So they are open, and many people are also, through the media, the tracks I've written, people have come to the Lord. They are strong. I'm excited about that.
विशेष गरेर यहाँको मान्छेमा फलहरू देख्न थालेको चाहिँ मैले म 6 वर्षपछि मात्रै म यहाँ आएको 6 वर्षपछि चाहिँ जस यहाँहरू फलहरू देख्न पाएँ मान्छेहरूले विश्वास गरे मण्डली बढ्दै गएको चाहिँ अहिले यो सालहरुमा चाहिँ धेरै राम्रो छ रिजल्ट यस सालमा चाहिँ यो सालबाट चाहिँ
कृष्ण दाइले चाहिँ एउटा मलाई चाहिँ एउटा धेरै कुरामा सहयोग गर्दै उहाँले चाहिँ आशिष पुर्याइराख्नु भएको छ। हरेक कुरामा सल्लाह दिँदै विश्वासहरूले चाहिँ आत्मिक रूपमा चाहिँ शिक्षा दिएर आफूले नभ्याउँदाखेरि पनि अरू वक्ताहरूलाई बोलाएर अनि सिकाउनु विभिन्न समयमा चाहिँ जब येशू ख्रीष्टलाई विश्वास गर्छन् अनि गरिसकेपछि चाहिँ पहिले त उनीहरूले जुन जाँड रक्सी चुरोट बिँडीहरू खाने गरेको हुन्छ त्यो तुरुन्त छोडेको हुन्छ। अनि त्यसपछि झगडा गर्ने कुराहरू त्यो छोडेको हुन्छ। अब अरू के अरे मठ मन्दिर जाने कुराहरू छोडेको हुन्छ र अनि के अरे समाजमा चाहिँ एउटा राम्रो किसिमको चिनारी दिनु सुरु गरिसकेको हुन्छ।
I was coming to the end of this journey, and I knew that I wanted to be a part of this movement.
We have a lot of people who love Jesus, but they're in many cases disconnected from the bigger picture, the larger story that God's telling. And I want to find a way to reframe missions as not just a task that we're called to engage in. We got to make sacrifices, you got to give more, you got to pray more, you got to do more. But kind of reframe the whole thing as a larger story that's filled with romance, filled with adventure. This is an amazing story that has at its center a bridegroom God who's in love with his bride and he's working to rescue her back. It's also got the bad guy, you know, and a real stakes, real losses and gains and things that our choices and our actions and our prayers really have an impact on how things play out now.
We can all be a part of this. It became my role to help people find out how.
What if the 500 million committed Christians that go to church every week, what if we chose to live a life like Christian?
If you've ever wanted that or longed for that, I'm telling you guys, you can have it.
Unveil that calling that God has for your life.
When you get a glimpse of what it does to the heart of God, when you see a nation healed and reclaimed and reunited with their Maker, and you begin to feel the elation of God's heart over that, because He's the one who dreamt that nation. He's the one who's gone to great lengths to have them back, and you're actually a part of giving them back to Him, and you begin to see Him dancing with joy, that it's supposed to trigger something in us. When we get that motivation, we will go to the ends of the earth. We will pay any price to simply see our Father's heart enveloped with joy.
समाजदेखि पैसा गर्छौँ, घरभित्र पर्न दिँदैनौँ, तँलाई गोली ठोकेर मार्छौँ भन्यो भने त्यो अवस्थामा पनि प्रभु येशू ख्रीष्टलाई विश्वास गरिराख्न सकिन्छ। म आजका नेपालीलाई पिता, पुत्र र पवित्र आत्माको नाउँमा पानी बप्तिस्मा दिँदछु।
The people who get to play in this story are just ordinary people just like us with everything we have, faults and strengths. He says, what do you have in your hand? I got a slingshot, you know, in some cases. And God used fishermen, tax collectors, shepherds, all kinds of ordinary people just like us to play key roles in moving the story forward.
The most fascinating thing about missions is that the missionary himself is God. I'm just joining his bandwagon. I'm just joining what he's doing. And when I see that he's actually going to accomplish it, it gives me great hope. You see, and to me, that's the zealousness, the passion of God.